Thrive Nation, all the time, wonderful people like you reach out to me and say, Clay, I've gone to thrivetimeshow.com. I've looked at the success stories of other people. I'm seeing all these people have massive success, but how does it work? How can you help me? What's it like? What's the experience like? Am I a good fit? Am I not a good fit? What does it cost? Can you help me? Is my industry different? Am I a good fit? Is it about you? Is it about me? Can we work together? Or do you have a spot? And I thought, what we could do, let's interview a guy who's been a wonderful client, a great guy to work with, a guy who gets it. I would call this person a diligent doer. By the name of Dave. So if you're out there today and you're a diligent doer, if you're a goal pursuer, if you're out there if you're out there and you're somebody who's looking for the proven plan and you just want to implement that thing, you are going to love today's guest. And you're going to be a great fit for the program, for the workshops, for the one-on-one coaching. If you're not somebody who's a diligent doer, if you're somebody who likes to learn a lot but not implement, I don't know that we're a good fit. In fact, I know we're not a good fit. So with that being said, Dave, welcome on to the Thrivetime Show. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me today.
Hey, so Dave, tell everybody, what's the name of your company there, sir?
The name of the company is Omnia Industries.
And what does Omnia Industries do?
So we take care of any of your electrical needs. Primarily, we deal with designing and assembling control panels. We also do programming for the components that we build. And we also supply parts like transformers and contactors and stuff.
So tell me about this. How did you originally hear about us?
So I was actually working the day that I heard about you. I was listening to a Bards FM podcast, and you were one of the guest speakers on there.
Oh, you listen to Bards?
Yes, sir.
Brother, Bards FM, Scott Kesterson, that's a hardcore show in terms of, like, if you don't really believe in the Bible, that show's going to go rough for you. What do you like about the Bards FM show?
Well, that right there, you just hit the nail on the head. He's a Christian, so that's what drew me in at first. And he gives you, his spin on things, and from a Christian perspective on what's happening in the world, and how as Christians, it gives us practical action items to do based on that.
So you and I share the same faith. We also share the same goal, in that I want you to be financially successful. So, because I believe money's an amplifier. It just allows you to, be more generous if you're already generous, or allows you to be more mean if you're already mean. I mean, money just amplifies the true you.
Amen.
And I'm not asking for specific financial goals, but what had you reaching out for help or assistance?
I think the biggest thing was action items to do. I hadn't really known how to run the business, on a day-to-day basis, or to grow the business. So I wanted action items to someone to lay in front of me. If you do this, 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 and this, you will succeed. You just got to work at it. And I always look, when I'm trying to find different people to work with, to find people that are like-minded with their morals. So the fact that it was a Christian-based company, that was one of the biggest draws.
So you reached out. I think we did a 13-point assessment. Is that right?
Correct.
How did the first call with my team go? Do you remember, did you talk to a member of my team when you went to fill out the form? And by the way, folks, if you're out there listening right now and you want to schedule a free consultation, you go to thrivetimeshow.com/EO-FIRE, 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 when you can schedule a free consultation. There's testimonials there. When you filled out the form, how long did it take for us to call you? Was it a few weeks? Was it a few days? Or
I think it was just a couple of days. I got a call from, I believe her name was Rochelle.
God, and we get, I mean, and I just want to say, in defense of Rochelle or anybody out there, we probably get 50 business owners in a busy day that will reach out for help. Maybe in a busy month, there might be 500 people reaching out for help. And so Rochelle and the team, their job is to get a hold of great people like you and to decide if they think you might be a good fit. So that way I'm not wasting your time, or vice versa, doing these consultations. So you talked to her. What kind of questions did you have initially when you first reached out?
Well, I was wondering what were the details about how much it cost a month, because it seemed like it was expensive just in general, of not having anything in place beforehand. But when you compare it to other programs, it's actually not that expensive. So I was wondering about the cost of everything, wondering what was included with the fee, what kind of support would I get on a monthly basis. So she walked me through all of those different questions and gave me the information.
And then we did a 13-point assessment. I don't know if you remember where you were when we had the 13-point assessment. I remember where I was. I was here. But where were you when we did the 13-point assessment?
I was at my house downstairs in my basement, and I got like a little office area set up there where me and my wife play video games as well. And my dad actually was visiting, so he sat there next to me and listened to the whole thing.
Okay. So did your dad was kind of taking notes there, kind of looking out for you a little bit?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
He was the guy give me a thumbs up in the background.
Now our program is a month-to-month program. So just so we're clear, that means that it is month to month. So you're just saying, hey, I'm going to pay $1,700 on a month-to-month basis for our team to help you go down the path. And so during that call, we make what I call a proven plan or a success strategy. So I do an assessment with you, and then I give you a proven plan. So at that point, you know what to do next. I keep hearing great things about you from our team. Andrew has said you are really knocking stuff out. What things have you gotten done so far? I mean, because since you've entered into the business coaching program.
So we didn't really have an online presence at all. We had a website, but it was basically just a placeholder. So we got the website knocked out, got a lot of words added, for our description and an about us section to let people know what we do. We got some good photos online. We created a Google map of our company that lists our business hours, our location, get Google reviews. And we've been making a lot of Dream 100 calls. We got a list from a company you guys recommended to give us a list of potential customers. So we've been calling them, and we can send them information after the call's over with and point them to our website. And some of the feedback I've gotten has been, hey, we got your call and we looked you up online, and it was all great things we saw online. Really liked your website, and that's what drew us in.
Now, the steps we have to go through, this is a broad brush for anybody out there, but if every client I work with, we have kind of there's some similar steps we have to go through. Step one, you as a client, you must determine your goals. And I can't give you your goals. Well, what state do you live in there, Dave?
North Carolina.
Okay. So you have your goals. I have my goals. Have you been to a workshop yet, Dave?
Not yet, but I will be going to the one in December.
Oh, come on. Yeah. Dave, you're going to love it. The problem I have is the concern I have is you might not want to go back. But when people come out to these events, I tell people you're coming to Tulsa, Jerusalem. You're going to be surrounded by so many successful entrepreneurs here in Tulsa, Jerusalem. I mean, you're going to have about 200 people here. I would say half of the audience are now multimillionaires, and they weren't multimillionaires before they entered the program. So you're able to talk shop. But the thing I can't give you, if you're a listener out there, if you're listening right now, I can't give you goals. So my goals, I always wanted to have basically 5 kids. I wanted to have 5 kids, an incredible wife. I wanted to have land so I could go outside. This might sound like a dumb goal, but I wanted the goal that if I wanted to streak, I could and no one would know. I'm not saying I want to streak. I'm just saying I wanted the goal where I could go out and become a prolific streaker on my own property, and no one would know unless I wanted to tell people. I wanted to be able to be in a place where I would have the space and place to have Jerusalem donkeys, where I could have Nubian goats. I wanted to have emus. I wanted to have the time and financial freedom. I never had to look at the price. Last time we took our kids out for frozen yogurt, and I never wanted to have to think about the price, because I grew up in a family where we always had to think about the price. Everything was always about the price. And I wanted to get to a place where that wasn't the case. Did you already know your goals before you reached out to us?
Yes, I did. The reason why we started this company in the first place was half of financial freedom goals, and then the other half was my schedule. I wanted to be able to do what I wanted when I wanted. I'm a big family guy. I was raised in a Christian family, and we're all very close to this day, even though we're not, we don't live near each other.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be able to be at every little league game, and those types of things. My dad was working, 3.5 hours away from our little league, and he never missed a game. He actually coached the team, and that's the kind of things that I wanted to be able to do with my family.
Got it.
And so that was one of the biggest goals.
So step one, you want to determine your goals. Okay. Step two. And by the way, folks, goals are not just financial. You want to have goals for your faith, your family, your finances, your fitness, your friendship, your fun, your goals for your faith, family, finances, fitness, friendship, fun. Again, that's faith, family, finances, fitness, friendship, fun. A lot of F's there flying. And if you want to, folks, download my book, I'll put it on the show notes. But if you go to thrivetimeshow.com/free resources, you can download my book, The Boom Book. And if you open up the Boom Book to page number 4, we talk about all the business systems that you have to build. But those systems don't matter if you don't know page 8. So page 8 is made possible by page 4. Okay. And you have to know your goals on page 8. You have to have your goals for your faith, your family, your finances, your fitness, your friendship, and your fun. So you determine your goals. Step 2, we got to help you improve your branding. It's really important that your website looks good and not hood. Can't look hood, has to look good. Can't look like it's, whoa. Have we helped you build a website? Has that happened yet or not so much?
Yes, sir. So you helped us build a website, and it was really good getting feedback from Andrew because the website, he would show me the drafts, and I'd say, well, that looks pretty good. What if we change this? What if we change that to be more aesthetically pleasing? And
Yep.
he was explaining, you know what, it might look a little bit better, but it won't land on Google. It won't work on a cell phone. It won't do these types of things. So it was good to have that feedback of, hey, you got to find the balance of what looks good, but ultimately what functions and will land on people's devices.
And folks, if you don't know, there's 4 variables that make you rank top in Google right now. The one is whoever has the most organic, authentic Google reviews. 2, you want to have a website that's canonically compliant. It has to follow the Google checklist. 3, you have to have mobile compliance. And 4, it's the website with the most content, the most original HTML hypertext markup language content. So why am I saying that? I'm saying that because you have to have the balance between having this glorious billboard in the woods that no one ever finds, and a billboard that people can find that maybe fits because of the city regulations, aka Google's regulations. You have to build a billboard that people can actually find. And sometimes cities have certain regulations, or Google has certain rules, and you have to adhere to those rules in order to be found in the search engine. So step 1, determine your goals. Step 2, improve your branding. Step 3, you got to implement systemic, successful, and scalable marketing strategies. Again, you have to implement successful and scalable turnkey marketing strategies. I know part of your marketing strategy we've laid out for you. We don't have time to get into all of it, but part of it involves you making Dream 100 calls to your ideal and likely buyers. Have you begun that process, sir?
Yes, sir. So we have a tracking sheet that we have all the different companies listed, and I've been calling them. I'm trying to get 100 calls a week, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less. And we've had a pretty good amount of success so far with getting people that are interested in follow-up. So there's actually a company that we've talked to that want us to come and do a presentation for them to do business with in the future. And so we're finalizing when we can get that done.
And what do you do exactly? What do you guys do at Omnia Industrial? What kind of services do you guys provide?
So we do electrical, and we assemble control panels. So each panel goes inside of an enclosure, it has the brains and the power of like industrial machinery.
Got it. So you guys, again, the website is omniaindustrial.com. I'll put a link on the show notes here. So you guys, again, you know your goals. We've helped you improve your branding. Then we came up with a successful, like a sustainable marketing strategy. But you have to actually implement it. I mean, if we gave you a proven strategy and you didn't do it, then it wouldn't work. Okay. Then we have to have a tracking sheet so we can track the results. Have you begun implementing a tracking sheet?
Yes, and that's been very helpful for me. Have all the information organized in one spot. We have our financial information there. We have the agenda that Andrew showed is really helpful too, because that's like the one-stop shop for all the information we go through. And that's how I get to the tracking sheet, the Dream 100 list. And that kind of gives you an idea of where you are financially throughout the week. It keeps track of Google reviews, our competitors, where are our competitors, and make sure that we're performing the way we need to be. And it's all right there in the sheet.
Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to improve your online branding / reputation. I mean, if you've got testimonials or clients that love working with you, we got to get those testimonials. We have to gather those testimonials so that when people do look you up, they can find actual clients you've actually worked for. I mean, have you begun that process of gathering objective reviews from ideal and likely buyers and real customers?
Yes, sir. So we have some reviews from our customers, our suppliers, people we work with, and those are all Google reviews, and we're working to get some video ones up there soon.
Now, our average client, is a client usually for 6 years or longer. So, I mean, you're relatively a new client, but how would you describe the experience for anybody out there that's contemplating, scheduling a 13-point assessment, or how could you describe what the experience has been like so far?
I would say that the experience has been fantastic so far. I had some reservations, and my business partner did as well, because anytime you see something that's going to promise you business growth, my red flags start popping up. Is this a scam? Are they trying to take advantage of you? And every single situation we've had interacting with you and your entire team has been great. It is not a scam. It works. They basically say, if this is what you do, if you do it, you'll succeed. If you don't, you won't. And they move on to the next one.
What's interesting for me, and I'll leave you with this. You haven't came out to a business conference yet. And it's so funny because when I interview people afterwards, I say, what was the biggest, you've been a client for 6 years. What was the biggest aha moment for you? When did the lights really turn on? And I bet 9 out of 10 of them say, man, it's those workshops. Because we include, when you're a consulting client, we include the workshops. So you can come to those. And most people tell me that the workshops really served as their catalyst to get them going and in the flow. And you've yet to be at a workshop. So I'm fired up. You're coming to the workshop here in December. It's going to be game changing for you, man. I can't wait to meet you in person and shake your hand. Is there anything else you want to share with the listeners out there? Because many people right now find themselves in a tough time in the American economy. There's a lot of challenges out there for a variety of reasons. And people out there are operating without hope. Yet many of our clients are out there having massive success. What would be the final word you'd want to share with somebody as it relates to our coaching program or just, taking action?
I would say that I used to work with my uncle in business a while ago, and he told me all the time, there's only one way to do business, Dave, and that's the right way. And when I signed on board with you guys teach you the right way to do business across the board, whether it's your financials, your marketing, your day-to-day operations. That's been the biggest takeaway for me. And I'm looking forward to learning some more at the workshop in December.
Dave, I can't wait to meet you, to shake your hand. We get started at 7 a.m. A lot of people get there as early as 6 or 6:30. I'd love to shake your hand. I know the people at this event are going to be encouraging. We've got a lot of current and former clients that'll be in attendance that can share with you tips that they've learned and things they wish they would have done differently. And it's a funny environment. It's a self-deprecating environment. There's a lot of good times that I just can't wait to see you, my friend. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me on. I'm excited about it too. And I can't wait to shake your hand, and I'll see you then.
Take care, Dave. Bye.
All right. Have a good one.
I heard about it on the podcast, started listening to the podcast, became a fan, and then figured out about the workshop. I own an insurance and financial services agency, and I was hoping to learn from the workshop systems and processes. I'm big on systems and processes and always learning better ways to run a business more efficiently. The atmosphere's second to none. It's a high energy, really cool atmosphere to be around. Contagious, I would say. Just something every entrepreneur, I think, would appreciate and love. I'd say humorous, high energy, and full of substance, which I think is the key. A lot of business coaches or seminars maybe are high on motivation and making you feel good, but don't have a lot of substance that you can take back and implement, the following Monday, where his does. Man, there's a lot of valuable things. I'm gonna say, this is my second workshop. The first workshop I took back really the importance of a group interview. I used to spend hours and hours interviewing people, screening resumes, and that saving my time on that part is valuable. It was that and then the sales scripting that have been two major things just so far. Man, I think they're missing out on, expert advice from somebody who's been there, done that, built companies, has learned a lot of lessons. That's what I'm always looking for, is somebody that I can learn from that's ahead of where I am. And I think if you choose not to come, you're missing out on a lot of good advice that could help your business.
Hi, I'm Aaron Antis with Shaw Homes. I first heard about Clay through a mortgage lender here in town who had told me what a great job he had been doing for them, and I actually noticed he was driving a Lamborghini all of a sudden, so I was willing to listen. In my career, I've sold a little over $800 million in real estate. So honestly, I thought I kind of knew everything about marketing and homes. And then I met Clay, and my perception of what I knew and what I could do definitely changed. After doing $800 million in sales over a 15-year career, I really thought I knew what I was doing. I've been managing a large team of salespeople for the last 10 years here with Shaw Homes. And we've been a company that's been in business for 35 years. We've become one of the largest builders in the Tulsa area, and that was without Clay. So when I came to know Clay, I really thought, man, there's not much more I need to know, but I'm willing to listen. The interesting thing is our internet leads from our website has actually, in a 4-month period of time, has gone from somewhere around 10 to 15 leads in a month to 180 internet leads in a month. Just from the few things that he's shown us how to implement that I honestly probably never would have come up with on my own. So I got a lot of good things to say about the system that Clay put in place with us. And it's just been an incredible experience. I am very glad that we met and had the opportunity to work with Clay. So the interaction with the team and with Clay on a weekly basis is honestly very enlightening. One of the things that I love about Clay's perspective on things is that he doesn't come from my industry. He's not somebody who's in the home building industry. I've listened to all the experts in my field. Our company has paid for me to go to seminars, international builder shows, all kinds of places where I've had the opportunity to learn from the experts in my industry. But the thing that I found working with Clay is that he comes from such a broad spectrum of working with so many different types of businesses that he has a perspective that's difficult for me to gain because I get so entrenched in what I do, I'm not paying attention to what other leading industry experts are doing. And Clay really brings that perspective for me. It is very valuable time every week when I get that hour with him. From my perspective, the reason that any business owner who's thinking about hooking up with Thrive needs to definitely consider it is because the results that we've gotten in a very short period of time are honestly monumental. It has really exceeded my wildest expectation of what he might be able to do. I came in skeptical because I'm very pragmatic, and as I've gone through the process over just a few months, I've realized it's probably one of the best moves we've ever made. I think a lot of people probably feel like they don't need a business or marketing consultant because they maybe are a little bit prideful and like to think they know everything. I know that's how I felt coming in. I mean, we're a big company that's definitely one of the largest in town. And so we kind of felt like we knew what we were doing. And I think for a lot of people, they let their ego get in the way of listening to somebody that might have a better or different perspective than theirs. I would just really encourage you, if you're thinking about working with Clay, I mean, the thing is, it's month to month. Go give it a try and see what happens. I think in the 35-year history of Shaw Homes, this is probably the best thing that's happened to us. And I know if you give them a shot, I think you'll feel the same way. I know for me, the thing I would have missed out on if I didn't work with Clay is I would have missed out on literally an 1,800% increase in our internet leads. Going from 10 a month to 180 a month, that would have been a huge financial decision to just decide not to give it a shot. I would absolutely recommend Clay Clark to anybody who's thinking about working with somebody in marketing. I would skip over anybody else you were thinking about, and I would go straight to Clay and his team. I guarantee you're not going to regret it because we sure haven't.
My name is Danielle Sprick, and I am the founder of D. Sprick Realty Group here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. After being a stay-at-home mom for 12 years and my 3 kids started school and they were in school full-time, I was at a crossroads and trying to decide what do I want to do? My degree and my background is in education, but after being a mom and staying home and all of that, I just didn't have a passion for it like I once did. My husband suggested real estate. He's a home builder, so real estate and home building go hand in hand, and we just rolled with it. I love people, I love working with people, I love the building relationships, but one thing that was really difficult for me was the business side of things. The processes and the advertising and marketing. I knew that I did not have what I needed to make that what it should be. So I reached out to Clay at that time, and he and his team have been extremely instrumental in helping us build our brand, help market our business, our agents, the homes that we represent. Everything that we do is a direct line from Clay and his team and all that they've done for us. We launched our brokerage, our real estate brokerage, 8 months ago. And in that time, we've gone from myself and one other agent to just this week, we signed on our 16th agent. We have been blessed with the fact that we right now have just over 10 million in pending transactions. 3 years ago, I never would have even imagined that I would be in this role that I'm in today, building a business, having 16 agents. But I have to give credit where credit's due. And Clay and his team and the business coaching that they've offered us has been huge. It's been instrumental in what we're doing. Don't ever limit your vision. When you dream big, big things happen.
I started a business because I couldn't work for anyone else. I do things my way. I do what I think is in the best interest of the patient. I don't answer to insurance companies. I don't answer to large corporate organizations. I answer to my patient, and that's it. My thought when I opened my clinic was I can do this all myself. I don't need additional outside help in many ways. I went to medical school. I can figure this out. But it was a very, very steep learning curve. Within the first 6 months of opening my clinic, I had a $63,000 embezzlement. I lost multiple employees. Clay helped us weather the storm of some of the things that are just a lot of people experience, especially in the medical world. He was instrumental in helping with the specific written business plan. He's been instrumental in hiring good quality employees, using the processes that he outlines for getting in good talent, which is extremely difficult. He helped me in securing the business loans. He helped me with web development and search engine optimization. We've been able to really keep a steady stream of clients coming in because they found us on the web. With everything that I encountered, everything that I experienced, I quickly learned it is worth every penny to have someone in your team that can walk you through and even avoid some of the pitfalls that are almost invariable in starting your own business. I'm Dr. Chad Edwards, and I own Revolution Health and Wellness Clinic.
Clay, my honor to be on your show, and thank you for all you do. I hear the ripple effects from you are good ripple effects. You know what I mean? People rave about what they learned from you, so congratulations.
And we went from expecting maybe 250,000 this year to we're at 400,000. Hi, I'm Kelsey with K&D's Woodruff Finishing. I'm business owner at 23. So I've been working this K&D's company for about 5 years now, and we started working with Thrive not too long ago. And we went from expecting maybe 250,000 this year to we're at 400,000. That's what we're going to hit or exceed. So we're pretty excited about that. It's been pretty much just listening to what they have to say. Their hiring process has just really been incredible as far as finding good quality help, and the just the accountability of meeting up with them weekly, and like such good insight, the resources that they have for specific business questions. It's all been really incredible. It's been a great experience, so I would recommend it to anybody.
What I've seen from Clay and his group at Thrive is they'll give you a simple system, and it's the simple systems are the ones that people can wrap their brain around. They're the ones that people can work with on a day-to-day basis.
Hi there, my name is Stephanie Pipkin. I am 24 years old and I own Black River Falls Cleaning Services. We opened in April of 2019 and it is now mid-June of 2020. So I wanted to talk today about the success and growth I have achieved by implementing the Proven Path with Clay Clark's team and my business coach Luke from Thrivetime. It has been insane to say the least. I started working with them in mid-February of this year, so we're about 4 months in of working together, and it has completely transformed my business in pretty much every facet. So I'm gonna check my notes here. So in 4 months, my leads have tripled. I was getting probably like 2 leads a week. Now I'm getting more in the like 10 to 15 leads a week. I have doubled my number of employees. I'm now hitting the highest revenue weeks in the history of the company, week to week it seems like. We went from about 6 appointments today as our highest in February to now 14 to 15 appointments a day. And hiring quality employees has become much simpler and less stressful by using their systems for hiring. I typically only get maybe 2 complaints a month, if that, and everybody shows up to work. I just have really high quality employees now, especially in something people typically consider a high turnover type of work, you know, cleaning houses, cleaning businesses. I have amazing employees now, and I get rid of the ones who are not so amazing and bring on new ones because of, you know, group interviews and interviewing every single week. It's just been great, and such I don't waste as much time on low quality candidates anymore. And your coach will hold you accountable. I mean, which I love. Again, the tough love is really great. You know, Luke's like a stern father figure, but he's also nice, but also stern when he needs to be when I'm being lazy and not doing the things that I know I need to do because I don't want to do them. So that's just great. Worth every penny. I mean, I'd pay him $1 million a month if I can, and maybe someday I'll be able to, but I would just say go for it. If it seems like a good fit, just go for it. Do what they say, even if you think it's stupid or ridiculous, just do what they say because it'll work. You know, people, when they look at my business, you know, people in my town, they think I'm lucky. They think I'm just, you know, things just happen for me. And, you know, maybe I am lucky, but it has a lot to do with hard work and, you know, perseverance and, you know, working till you cry sometimes. That's just being an entrepreneur, which if you're a business owner, you understand that. But it's having these systems in place of, you know, of course I'm going to be successful. It's an absolute because I have all this stuff in the background happening, and I have Luke and Clay and everybody on their team working really hard to make sure that I'm a success. And I can tell that they are just so excited every single week when I'm having all these wins and things like that. They're so excited for me. So it's the best thing ever, and I would suggest to anybody to work with them. So sorry for the long-winded reply, but I just had so much to say, and I could go on for hours probably about how amazing they are. But thank you to Clay and Luke and the entire team there, everything you guys have done for me, and I am so excited to continue to work with you for years to come. Thanks so much for watching.
My saying is, if it's important to you, hire a coach. And I think that's one of the reasons people are not successful is they eat a cheeseburger instead of hiring a coach, you know what I mean? And so my coach pushes me. They're younger than me. They push harder. They're trained. And as my rich dad always said, you know, amateurs don't have a coach, but professionals always have coaches. So I've always had coaches for whatever is important. And, you know, my rich dad was one of those persons. You're on it, man. You're on it. You're on it. Everybody listen to this guy. He knows what he's talking about. Mm-hmm. You have the macro picture. Very few people have that point of view.
Clay, you're an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. And as they say in Stoic, the obstacle is the way. And so if you let these pinheads get in your way, you're in trouble.
Hi, my name is Tim Johnson. I'm the owner of Tuscaloosa Ophthalmology, as well as Southern Eye Consultants, 2 ophthalmology practices in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and I'm a client of Clay Clark. He asked me to answer a couple questions. The first question was, how did I hear about Clay Clark? I am a big fan of business podcasts, and his podcast popped up as a recommended listening, so I started listening to the podcast. I was a little suspicious or skeptical because I thought there was going to be like an upcharge or an upsell. But the idea of the month-to-month canceling really appealed to me. And I kept waiting for the shoe to drop and for the upsell or for the scam to come in, but it never did. It's very legitimate. Since working with Clay, I've gotten a much firmer grasp on how business works. Even in medicine, business is business. I've learned a lot about marketing, especially how Google reviews work and how important that is. And that's very important even in medicine. At least once a week, if not every day, I get a new patient because somebody Googled eye doctor in Tuscaloosa or ophthalmologist in Tuscaloosa. And you'd be amazed how many patients just look for an eye doctor that way. And so he's really changed our business. Our business has grown a lot maybe 15 to 20% this year. And so we're really grateful for the things he's done for our business. And the last question was, when did I perfect the laugh? I would say that you can never perfect the laugh. You just keep working at it, and just keeps getting better and better each day. But you got to keep working at it. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Moore. I'm a pediatric dentist. Through our new digital marketing plan, we have seen a marked increase in the number of new patients that we're seeing every month, year over year. One month, for example, we went from 110 new patients the previous year to over 180 new patients in the same month. And overall, our average is running about 40 to 42% increase month over month, year over year. The group of people required to implement our new digital marketing plan is immense, starting with a business coach, videographers, photographers, web designers. Back when I graduated dental school in 1985, nobody advertised. The only marketing that was ethically allowed in everybody's eyes was mouth-to-mouth marketing. By choosing to use the services, you're choosing to use a proven turnkey marketing and coaching system that will grow your practice and get you the results that you're looking for. I went to the University of Oklahoma College of Dentistry, graduated in 1983, and then I did my pediatric dental residency at Baylor College of Dentistry from 1983 to 1985. I established my practice here in Tulsa in 1985.
I started a business because I couldn't work for anyone else. I do things my way. I do what I think is in the best interest of the patient. I don't answer to insurance companies. I don't answer to large corporate organizations. I answer to my patient, and that's it. My thought when I opened my clinic was I can do this all myself. I don't need additional outside help in many ways. I went to medical school. I can figure this out. But it was a very, very steep learning curve. Within the first 6 months of opening my clinic, I had a $63,000 embezzlement. I lost multiple employees. Clay helped us weather the storm of some of the things that are just a lot of people experience, especially in the medical world. He was instrumental in helping with the specific written business plan. He's been instrumental in hiring good quality employees, using the processes that he outlines for getting in good talent, which is extremely difficult. He helped me in securing the business loans. He helped me with web development and search engine optimization. We've been able to really keep a steady stream of clients coming in because they found us on the web. With everything that I encountered, everything that I experienced, I quickly learned it is worth every penny to have someone in your team that can walk you through and even avoid some of the pitfalls that are almost invariable in starting your own business. I'm Dr. Chad Edwards, and I own Revolution Health and Wellness Clinic.
Hi, my name is Tim Johnson. I'm the owner of Tuscaloosa Ophthalmology as well as Southern Eye Consultants, two ophthalmology practices in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and I'm a client of Clay Clark. He asked me to answer a couple questions. The first question was, how did I hear about Clay Clark? I am a big fan of business podcasts, and his podcast popped up as a recommended listening, so I started listening to the podcast. I was a little suspicious or skeptical because I thought there was going to be like an upcharge or an upsell. But the idea of the month-to-month canceling really appealed to me. And I kept waiting for the shoe to drop and for the upsell or for the scam to come in, but it never did. It's very legitimate. Since working with Clay, I've gotten a much firmer grasp on how business works. Even in medicine, business is business. I've learned a lot about marketing, especially how Google reviews work and how important that is. And that's very important even in medicine. At least once a week, if not every day, I get a new patient because somebody Googled eye doctor in Tuscaloosa or ophthalmologist in Tuscaloosa. And you'd be amazed how many patients just look for an eye doctor that way. And so he's really changed our business. Our business has grown a lot, maybe 15 to 20% this year. And so we're really grateful for the things he's done for our business. And the last question was, when did I perfect the laugh? I would say that you can never perfect the laugh. You just keep working at it, and just keeps getting better and better each day. But you got to keep working at it.
Oh, look at this cute baby. What a great baby. Quality baby. That's a healthy baby. Okay. Thrive Nation, on today's show, I'm very excited for you to hear this success story about this wonderful couple that, Sean, I would describe them as they are killing the game in the most nonviolent way possible. They're killing the game.
Yeah.
In the most nonviolent way possible. They are blowing up in a good way. Folks, I'm telling you, these folks are really growing their business. And what makes them great is they're really kind, hardworking, diligent people, and we're honored to serve them. We've got Jenny and Mike here joining us. Jenny and Mike, welcome to the Thrivetime Show. How are you two?
Hi, thank you. Good. We're doing well.
Okay, now I'll start with you, Jenny, because frankly, Sean likes you more. No, I'm just kidding. So let's start with you. So how did you first discover us and the business coaching that we provide?
So I was listening to different podcasts about business. I was starting up our business. And so you were the first one to pop up on our podcast on Apple. I think Apple is what I was on. And so I started listening to you. I got on your website, and I was just a little girl starting a business. And I said, I'm going to ask this guy to be my coach. And I don't think I'm going to get a shot, but sure enough, within a week, you called me.
Now, who is this cute child here? But Micah, who is this cute kid here?
It's Lennon Rose. She is about to be 10 months old.
I hate to do this to you, but can you kind of hold up the baby to the camera a little bit? This is probably, oh, look at this cute baby. What a great baby. Quality baby. That's a healthy baby. Okay. So Mike, can you tell us what's the name of your website there? I think people want to look you up and verify you're real people that don't just happen to have a cute baby.
Yeah. Our website is newconcept.healthcare.
Newconcept.healthcare. So newconcept.healthcare. I'm going to pull it up right now, folks, so we can all verify that they're not just a couple who's taking advantage of the cute baby they have to get a podcast here. This is a real couple. Okay, so I'm pulling it up here. So this is the website. It's newconcept.healthcare. And can you tell our listeners what services do you guys provide at newconcept.healthcare?
So we offer more functional medicine. So we offer IV therapies. We offer hormone replacement therapies. We also do acute care. We do pretty much everything, but we're very much alternative. So we believe in medical freedom, and that's what we offer.
And you guys, you reached out. Do you remember that initial consultation there? Do you remember, Mike, that initial consultation? Do you remember what that was like?
Yeah, it was actually pretty overwhelming that we were starting this business with absolutely nothing, and we had the opportunity to work with Thrivetime Show.
Well, you know, the one thing I always try to do is, you know, my father, great guy, may he rest in peace. He worked his tail off like so many people do, and there was no real economic result that was achieved from it. There wasn't any, you know, he had the college degree. He's working 2 jobs. I remember he's late 30s. He's working at Domino's, delivering pizzas, working at Quick Trip. He worked at furniture stores. And I always try to look at every new client we have as though I'm talking to my dad, you know, because like, what would my dad, you know, what could he have learned at the age of 37 that could have changed the financial trajectory of his life? You know, and I try to look at it that way. And so you guys, I paired you up with Sean. You've been working with Sean, I believe, Sean, since October of 2020. Is that correct, Sean?
I think that's when they started their business. It wasn't until about April of 2021 when we actually got going.
So April of 2021. And at that point, from that point to now, Sean, how much of growth have you guys achieved from 2021 to now? Do you know that number?
Yeah, I mean, we're sitting at 2023 revenues were 821,000, and they're in October of 2020. Like they only had a few months, but they made about 95,000 by the end of 2020, and then we grew significantly that first year to about 375% to 588,000, and we continued to grow there ever since, all the way up to where we're getting close to the $1 million mark at this point here, just like 3 years in.
Jenny, how would you describe the growth? Would you say you've doubled? Are you 5 times larger? How would you describe that?
Oh no, I definitely feel the growth. There's been some growing pains, and you guys have helped us through that too. So it's been amazing. It's been amazing to help people, because that's what I'm passionate about. And you guys have really helped us expand and tell people what we're about.
So step one here, we do this with all the clients. I'm gonna walk people through the steps. We really needed to nail down your branding, and that's a big thing, because branding is to humans what clothing is. So as an example, you wake up today, folks, if you run around and you're streaking through life, you're probably not going to get a lot of conversations started. So we all have to be intentional about, what are we going to wear? Are we going to wear a tie? Are we going to wear a polo? Are we going to do makeup? Are we not? So people, they judge us based on our appearance. And so we really had to get a website built. We had to optimize the online brand. Jenny, we do it all included for our clients. So we don't refer you to another vendor. We do it all. Can you talk about the impact that has made on the business?
Oh, for sure. Just the website itself, it looks so great. We would have never been able to make it look that great. The way y'all optimize everything and keep us, with Google, where people search us and that we're the first people that come up. And that's actually how we've established our business and started offering some of the things that we offer, is because of the tags that we have. I didn't originally start off as doing IV therapy, but due to people Googling, healthcare functional medicine, I had 3 phone calls in a week that said, "Hey, do you offer IV therapy?" And it was very interesting. And I was like, well, no, but I can. And so it was because of you guys that kind of snowballed and took effect. So yeah, there's a lot that you guys have done for us.
Now, Sean, when working with these wonderful clients here, I'll pick on Mike here. You always say great things about Mike and Jenny. What makes them good to work with? Because I want to make sure for anybody out there, if you go to thrivetimeshow.com, I consistently offer a free 13-point assessment. I've been doing that since 2005. I do it without reservation. There's no obligation, but there's usually about 1 to 2 knuckleheads a week that will fill out the form, and probably 20 really great people that fill out the form. And then we only take on 160 clients. And so I don't want anyone to waste their time. What makes Mike so great to work with?
Well, Clay, I mean, when I first started coaching, you taught me about these 2 types of business owners. There's the happy hopers out there, and then there's the diligent doers. And I think these guys are a great example of the diligent doer. They continually apply effort to work on their business, not just in their business. They consistently show up to their meetings. They track all of the critical numbers of their business, and they're aware of what's going on with all of their employees. They're paying attention to all the little things going on. They're keeping all the plates spinning, and they ask great questions. They actually really do make a great effort consistently to apply our systems and help their business grow. And it's been working.
So step one, we get the branding nailed down. That's the website, the print pieces, the logos, the business cards. But then you have to develop that online reputation. Now that could be a tough thing to do, Jenny. And I'll just, this isn't a backhanded compliment. I'm just saying, but for people that are humble and very kind, of which I would put Jenny in that category, sometimes asking for reviews is more difficult because you almost feel like you're self-promoting. I've never had this conversation with you, but has that been difficult for you to ask people to give you video reviews and Google reviews after you provided the service, or was that easy for you to do?
It's not easy. It still isn't easy.
Okay.
It is. It's difficult because you feel like you're begging for something, even though you did the right thing.
Yeah.
So it's difficult for me. It's just my personality type, but we get it done anyways.
I'll find this for the diligent, kind customers we work with. It's very difficult sometimes to ask for those objective reviews from real customers. And I find that from my clients I've worked with that are sort of like self-described barbarians. I had a guy years ago I worked with. I won't mention his name or his industry, but I'll just say he's obsessed with physical fitness. And he told me, he says, "I'm kind of a business barbarian. You tell me what to do and I will slay the dragons." And I'm like, okay, you need to get Google reviews from everybody you've ever, worked with. And he's like, "Oh, I'm on it." And this guy's just shamelessly calling through his phone and just lighting people up going, "Give me a review. Come on, give me a review. Why will you not give me it?" I'm like, go ahead, dial it down a little bit. So again, you guys are humble, diligent doers. You're the ideal person here. So I appreciate you sharing that. The next thing we had to do is we had to create a no-brainer. Now, a no-brainer is an offer so good, so amazing that people simply cannot say no to it. Now, I won't mention the name of the company, but I worked years ago, and I still work with this company. They're a medical company. They're doing well now. And for whatever reason, they put on their website, first initial consult, $497. And he went to one of these borderline spiritual motivational conference things where Jesus isn't described, but they kind of talk about metaphysical alignment and getting your woo-saw, getting in your groove, alignment, no friction. And he came back and he's like, Clay, I believe in the 7th number of completion. I go, I agree. He says 4 is the number that's urgent. I'm like, okay. Not, and I go, what? And he's like, I don't want tire kickers. So I'm going to do $497 for my first consult. That way I don't deal with the tire kickers. And I'm like, Doc, I love you so much. You're a doctor. I love it. You don't have any customers though. That's why you came to me. You don't have any customers. So why don't you do a first free consult? He's like, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to kick out Sean, the tire kicker. So I'm sure you've never seen this with a client.
Oh, never.
And so now what makes it worse is his wife also went to the Metaphysical Alignment Motivational Jackassery Festival. And she was like, 497 is the number. I had a dream about it. I'm like, yeah, because you probably talked about it all weekend. You probably are subconsciously thinking about it. You're probably creating a neural pathway related to 497. And so anyway, after about a year, he finally says, okay, I came to your conference and I saw a person that did the first consult for $1. I'm going to go with that. And now his business is blowing up. Could you talk about your no-brainer, your first consult for $1? How has that helped you having that no-brainer offer?
Yeah, so it gets people in. And so when we get people in, we know that we're doing a good job, and we know that we're trustworthy, and our healthcare is superior to most. So just getting people in for that $1, because a lot of people are, they're nervous about going to the doctor, or they don't trust healthcare system. And so they know that they can come in, they're only going to spend $1. They can figure out whether or not they trust us, figure out whether or not we're the place for them. And we know 100% of the time we will be. So it's really helped us just get people in and get people to trust us more.
Now, once somebody fills out the form, folks, again, there's a linear pathway here. I'm trying to give you a visual here. So you establish your revenue goals. You figure out your numbers to break even. You figure out how many hours a week you're willing to work. Even though you have a cute baby, you got to figure out how you're going to get it done. Step number 4 is you define your unique value proposition. What makes you unique? That's something you and Sean have worked on together. You improve your branding. Now you're coming in contact with humans. Business is a contact sport. I love this part. That's when you start marketing. You launch your marketing. You have your online ads. You optimize your website. You begin to come up top in the search results. You start to get leads. Do you remember what it was like, Jenny, when you first got your first online lead? Do you remember the first one where you're like, it's working? Did you remember that moment?
Yeah, it was almost like we did celebrate, because it finally had happened. And then as soon as the first one came in, the second one came in. And like I said, it was almost a growing pain experience. We had so many leads so fast. So it was great. And we still celebrate every lead that we get.
Now, Mike, the next step is you have to make sales scripts. We recommend to every client that the calls are recorded for quality assurance. You have a sales script. The calls are recorded for quality assurance. You have a one sheet that tracks your pricing. You have pre-written emails. You begin tracking. Sean's always bragging about you guys with tracking. Mike, how has it helped to have tracking in place where you can see, how does that help you?
Well, it's really a good benefit, because, at the end of the week, what your income was, what your leads was. So wherever we're lacking in, we can quickly adjust and make that adjustment to make it work for the next week.
Now, if you don't have tracking, folks, this is a true story. It's kind of a sad story, so I'll speak in generality, Sean. I talked to a guy the other day. This is a terrible story. Longtime client, and he got motivated. He set up a trade show. He didn't tell me he's doing that. It's fine. You don't have to tell me, but he set up a trade show. I think he was going to try to surprise me with the fruit of the trade show. So he set up the trade show, and he gets on the call. His energy's kind of off, and I'm like, "Are you okay?" "Yeah, dude, fine." What's wrong?" "I don't know." I'm like, "Your lead sheet, we're getting, 10 to 15 leads a week. It's very consistent. Revenue looks good." He's like, "Yeah, I'm in a tight spot." "Well, you're in a tight spot. Why are you in a tight spot?" He says, "I did a trade show." "You did a trade show?" "Yeah, I got roped into 4. I did a thing where you get the billboard, you get the trade show, you get the magazine ad. And I did the trade show and we got no leads." And I go, "What kind of trade show did you do?" And he says, "Well, I went to the whatever trade show." And Sean, what I find is that there's the emotional excitement about being on the billboard, being on the magazine cover, and he got called by one of these kind of scam. I call it a scamockery or jackassery.
Yeah.
They call you and they go, boop, 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 boop. "Hey, is this Sean?"
Yeah, this is Sean.
"Sean, yeah, we noticed that you have an incredible healthcare company, and we want to honor you by giving you the yada yada of the region award. It's the yada yada. It's a regional, it's a prestigious award. We'd like to meet with you. Can we meet with you?
Yeah.
So now I meet here. Now, Sean, again, we're on the phone, but I still like the phone voice here. So now Sean, so because we're so honored, we're inviting you to a plated dinner to honor your honor, your honoredness, your greatness, your humbleness. And it's going to be $1,000 a plate, for you and your wife. And did you want 4 seats or 8? Because most people do 8.
Oh, I guess just four.
4, and that does include a glossy magazine feature in we'll just call it like Missouri local top doctor jackassery. It's a great magazine.
Oh.
And you're also on you'll be on a billboard. We've teamed up with the billboard. It rotates through. You're going to see your face. Oh, hey, don't get too excited. And just because we're honored, we're not, again, we're just honored now. Did you want to do the 4 tickets, sir?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, the way it works is it's going to be 4 payments of $4,000 for a total of $16,000. And that's, no, I'm serious. And now they're in the trade shows and he's going to the trade show and there ain't nobody there. There is nobody there. To be technical. Nobody was at this trade show. I mean, everybody was not at the trade show. No, I got photos of like him and his wife and his team in an empty booth, and he's got a magazine and no leads are coming. And he was so excited to tell me. I'm sure you've never encountered this sort of thing, Virginia. Have you, Jenny, have you ever seen a situation where that sort of shamockery advertising has been entered into your world in some capacity?
I've been there. I've been exactly what you're talking about. And I've set up everything and paid employees. And I felt like I was nothing more than a free pin show. The only people that were there were people looking for free pins.
Oh, I know. And it feels terrible. And then you kind of have to sell it to yourself all day. But guys, we're getting our name out there. Sean, can you pass the megaphone back there? Right behind you. Yeah, because I tell people, if you want to get your name out there, what you do is you just run outside and say, all right, come visit New Concept Healthcare. And people go, why are you yelling at me? I'm trying to shop for my groceries. New Concept Healthcare. Get my name out there. Getting my name. Is this effective? Of course it's effective. I'm getting my name out there. And then that leads to buying Frisbees, branded Frisbees,
right.
koozies. You know what I'm saying? Branded pins.
Yes.
And all of a sudden you buy these things. Sean, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now we have to do, and I'm going to show you, this is kind of the back end of one of my companies called Elephant in the Room. And you do a search for eitrlounge.com. And then you go to /staff. I'm not going to give you the password, folks, but you log in. And these are all the systems needed to run the haircut chain. Now, one thing I thought was very interesting is Truth Social, President Trump's social media platform. The other day they were disclosing, Newsweek was disclosing the revenue of it.
Oh,
and I just want people to know this because I think, just full disclosure, I'm a very conservative person, but I just want people to see this. This is just something to look at. Truth Social, they declared in their filing that they did $3.3 million of revenue and had $49 million of losses, which, by the way, that's very normal for a tech startup company. And their users are going up. And they're having there's like a reaction in the marketplace. People are actually putting more money in. They're investing. The stock price is going up. But I don't know anybody that I've met in my life, but I've never been a client that can afford to bring in 3.3 million and lose 49 million. So like for my haircut chain, we have 5 locations. We bring in more than 3.3 million, and this just in, we don't spend 49 million. So we have to, we call it a lean startup. You got to keep that thing lean. And so when you go to eitrlounge.com /staff, every document needed to manage the business is here. So the opening checklist for the manager, you click here, boom, this is what the manager has to do to start the day. Everything is documented. And that's kind of where we're at right now with Jenny and Mike's business. We're in the process of building all those checklists.
Yeah.
Sean, what kind of checklists have you built so far?
Oh man, we have a whole page. Their staff page is pretty built out. We're really getting there. I think more right now it's getting, correct me if I'm wrong, we need some managers in there so we can free you guys up from the business. And so we have a lot of the worker level systems. We're just now working on more of how do we get those manager level systems and find those high quality managers.
Now let me give Jenny a little mentor moment here. This will be helpful for you. I'm going to hop on a flight in about 2.5 hours, 3 hours to go to Denver. All right. And I got to go to Denver to meet with the founder of oxyfresh.com. This is a brand we've worked with and helped them to grow to 550 locations now. 550 locations. Okay. And if you type in carpet cleaning quotes, we're the world's highest rated and most reviewed company in the world. Okay. 274,000 reviews. We've been holding this idea in our mind for 15 consecutive years. I've been working on this, Sean, before I met you. We're grinding. Okay.
Yeah.
And the biggest challenge that the locations have is managers, finding good manager. And I tell people this, and it never goes over well, but hopefully eventually it will. I'll keep refining the idea. The kind of person that enjoys conflict, but also likes people, is a good manager. Let me try that again. The kind of person that enjoys conflict, but also likes people, is a good manager. And I have found it's not so much trainable as it's findable. So as an example, where we're getting ready to head out to Denver, Sean, you know my personality type, and you know that I have to pack all this stuff to get ready to go. You saw my suitcase out there?
Yep.
How many times do you think I've followed up with the people involved in the trip so far before leaving?
Oh man, it's probably on your to-do list, and you've checked it off like probably at least 5 times today, I would think.
And what kind of things do you think I might have put on my checklist to travel to Denver?
First off, just making sure that the timing is working, making sure that you have all the stuff that you need, making sure that you have double of the stuff that you need in case something gets broken, making sure that the people who are there know you're coming and when you're going to be there and what to expect from you.
What do you think I'm checking a bag?
Oh yeah, you're probably not checking a bag.
There
it
it
would
is.
get lost.
All
No.
right.
No.
And you think I'm catching a flight a lot earlier than I need to be there?
Way earlier.
Yeah, if I'm having a meeting tomorrow, which I am, I'm leaving today at 12:30.
Yeah.
So this is, but that's the sort of paranoia that makes management possible. So I have literally called. I said, all right, I'm getting on the 12:30 flight. We're meeting tomorrow. I should be in by like 4 o'clock Denver time. Our meeting's tomorrow. If that flight gets delayed and the next one gets delayed and the next one, I'll still be there. I've got backup phone chargers. I have a rule. Everybody going with me. You cannot check a bag. I want to check a bag. Can't check a bag. Why? Because it could get lost. This is real. I'm not I am completely paranoid. And that is the paranoia is what makes the businesses run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I ask my staff every day, guys, elephant in the room, did you guys get a review? And they say, well, yeah, we got a review. You asked me 10 minutes ago. Okay, well, I'll talk to you in 4 minutes. You heard me say that. I'll say, I'll talk to you in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'll do it. And it's a follow-up because I have to make sure that the checklists are being followed, the reviews are being followed. We're a licensed business. People don't know that. Hair care, you're licensed by the state. So we have certain cleanliness standards. We could have random people from the state show up. So we got checklists. And I follow up, and it doesn't bother me to follow up with the same adult who's in their 40s 6 times within a 50-minute span of time. It doesn't bother me. But most people, that bothers them.
Yeah.
And so have you found that, Jenny, that a lot of people don't like to follow up? Have you found that, or is that just something unique to me?
I've found that they don't like to follow up. No, people don't like to follow up. It's almost like an awkward communication thing that people try to avoid. Yeah. And it's not necessarily that you're being mean or any type of way, but I feel like that's probably the way that we feel when we continuously follow up, like we're having to step on people's toes, but really we're not. We're just getting the job
My
done.
mentorship moment for you is it's probably the same feeling you have when you ask for reviews.
Yeah.
It's probably the same. So, and I'm just saying, and if you, Mike, did you ever play football or a sport of some kind?
Yeah, I used to play soccer.
Okay, soccer. So like when what position did you play?
Goalkeeper.
Goalkeeper. Okay. So this is a great example. I didn't know you were a goalkeeper, but when you're a goalkeeper and someone's kicking that ball at you fast, I mean, just the ball's coming in there. I mean, people can really kick a soccer ball fast. Yeah. There are certain people that want to be a goalkeeper, but they kind of avoid the ball. They try to hide from it. They flinch. You know what I'm talking about? But you actually would lunge into it. Am I correct?
Right.
I mean, you're aggressive, right? I mean, you're like, for some reason you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Right?
I enjoyed getting 100 miles an hour fastball.
Did you ever see somebody who tried to be a goalie? I'm not looking for a name here, but somebody who would kind of hide from the ball.
Yeah.
This is the same thing for management. Like as a manager, you have to sort of seek out conflict, but like people. So I'll say things like, okay, hey, it's 8 o'clock. I need to make sure you put out the flags in front of the elephant in the room store today, Mr. Manager. Put out the flags that draw the attention by the road. Put out the flags. And I'm going to call you in 10 minutes to follow up. Call them in 10 minutes. Are the flags up? Can you send me a picture? They're like, do you not trust me? Absolutely not. I trust nobody. Go ahead and send him. And then I'll call them back 30 minutes later. Hey, did you get Google reviews? Yeah, we got one Google review. You know, the quote is 10. Yeah, I'll call you back in 2 minutes. Call them back. Hey, did you get a review? It's been 2 minutes. I know. Oh, hey, I'll tell you what. I'll call you back in an hour. And my whole day is just following up. And then over time, the culture happens where people go, he's going to follow up. And now the people that like the follow-up like to work there, and it's become a great thing. And that's where we're kind of at right now, I think, is we're getting into the follow-up phase. Do you have call recording in place there, Mike? Do you have the call recording for quality assurance installed yet?
Yes, we do.
And are you learning some things?
Yes. It is very hard to train people on recording scripts.
Yeah. Okay, that's something we got to do. Now we're just going through the workflow. And then the wowing the customers. What Sean is saying is that your patients are consistently wowed. Now, I don't know if that's because Sean is your hype man or if that's a real thing, but it seems like people are actually wowing. They're being wowed right now. People, when they come in, this is, if you look at the workflow, they buy something right here. We have to wow them. You've got to create that wow moment. And again, if you want to download this diagram, folks, just go to thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire, thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire. You can download it from my newest book called A Millionaire's Guide to Becoming Sustainably Rich. You got to create that wow moment. I mean, amidst the checklists and the tracking, at some point here, you've got to create a moment that wows people where they go, wow. So I'm trying to get everybody's creative juices flowing here. So if you have a restaurant, I work with a restaurant in Florida right now, a great restaurant. They say, welcome in. Is it your first time? They say, yeah, it's my first time. Oh, well, hey, you get free appetizers on us today and one free adult beverage. Welcome in. And that every time it's that, wow. And then when you come back later and ask for a review or, hey, what entree do you want? Guess what? People become generous with how they buy. Another example, I work with an auto auction. The auto auction says your first time that you buy from the auto auction, you only have to pay $1 more than the actual cost of the vehicle, just to wow people, to get that going. I happen to work with a carpet cleaning business. And what they do is they say, hey, the first time we clean your carpet, we'll beat any competitor's price, and it will be at least half off of our normal price. And they go, okay, great. You got to have that wow moment. What are you guys doing, Jenny, to wow your customers there?
Well, there are things that we do. We will oftentimes like give samples of certain things because we know they work. We have a lot of supplement sales that we do. Again, the dollar consult is a wow moment because we will spend some, 10 to 15 minutes explaining how we're different. And I feel like they're wowed because of that. Also, our services are so much different. We spend time in the room with our patients. We listen to them. They're not just a number. And a lot of times people have never experienced that. So there's a lot of wow moments, I think, for all of our patients.
Now, I understand that 59% of your customers are now from word of mouth. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah, well, and with the customer acquisitions cost too, I've heard you say this before, Clay, that if you're advertising and you're doing a good job wowing at the same time, they compound each other, and you'll end up having 2 to 3 word of mouth referrals from those patients that are wowed for every one lead you have from advertising. We measured and tracked that they had this last year, for every $1 they spent on advertising, they were able to bring back in $4.61. So that's a 461% return on their marketing investment.
It's incredible stuff. And the great news is, as we build these systems, if you guys ever wanted to franchise or license or open up multiple locations, if done properly, you should be able to scale it. It should be very repeatable, very duplicatable. Other things you guys have done, you've implemented a database to keep track of your customers. You're gathering objective video reviews. You guys are really checking all the boxes. I'd like for you, if you can, Jenny, here, to give a word of encouragement for any of our listeners out there that are a little bit on the fence right now, and they're going, I have thought about scheduling a free consultation, but I don't know. I hear it's $1,700 a month, and can you maybe explain your thoughts, what you would say to anybody who's a friend of yours or family that asks you about the value about the business consulting?
Oh, well, I would say that the $1,700 a month is an excuse not to have someone to mentor you. It's kind of like being in a gym when you need a trainer. We're not always perfect, and business owning is not easy, and you need a mentor. I've never missed the $1,700 a month, even when I was only 6 months in when we started with you guys. I've never even considered it a loss. It was scary at first to make that, but that wasn't an excuse. I knew I needed someone to guide me through this, and you guys have guided us through this, through the entire thing, through employees, through income, through spending, through all of it. And we come through so many problems. There are a lot of problems that are established when you have a business. I mean, you become very overwhelmed very fast, and you need somebody that you can call who's successful, who's been there, that says, you're not crazy. This happens to all of us. Here's what you do about it. It's been the best decision that we've made.
Final question I have here for you, as far as having like a one-stop shop. Years ago, I hired a business consultant who was great. And he would say things like, and I'm not ripping him, I'm just telling you what would happen. He would say, Clay, you got to work on your business and not in it. I'm going, that's true. He goes, you got to delegate to elevate. That's true. Clay, your website is not optimized. And I'm going, this is great. Fresh perspective. I go, Bruce, could you help me optimize? No, I don't optimize. Could you help me work on it? No. Could you help me make a checklist? No. Do you help me with the print pieces that I need to make? No. Can you make a video? No. Do you help me with my online ads? No. Clay, and he was kind of he's an Northeastern American guy. And he used to say, Clay, baby, let me tell you what. I don't make print pieces. What am I, a print piece guy? I'm not a web guy. We know what I am. I'm a work on the business guy. You got to find a good web guy. So every meeting we would have would result in me having to find another vendor to pay another $8,000 to build the website, $4,000 to make the video, $5,000 to do. So every time he would give a recommendation, it would lead to another cost. Can you maybe explain the value of having a flat monthly fee?
Yeah, I don't have to ever worry about it. Like I know if I need the website updated, it's a text away. I know if I'm having trouble with an employee, it's a text away. I know if I need financial advice, it's a text away. And again, we meet every single week and all our questions are answered and we're held accountable to what we need to be held accountable for. So it really works for us.
Jenny and Mike, thank you guys for your time so much. I really do value your time. I appreciate you guys being here today. And on part 2 of today's show, we're going to tee up another success story because we want people to know it is possible, despite the financial jackassery plaguing our nation right now. It is possible to become successful, and you guys are a living example of it. Thank you guys for bringing your baby on the show. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Thank you.
Hey, this is Dr. Jay Schroeder from HealthWorks Chiropractic here in Franklin, just outside of Nashville, and just wanted to record kind of my experience with Thrive over the last 16 months. I think it's been almost 18 months with these guys. They have really helped me turn my clinics around. I came to Thrive in February of 17. I could say 16 months later, I don't know where we have been without these guys, but I know where we're at now. We've got systems in place that make the practices no longer reliant on me being there for them to be successful. That was a huge goal of mine when I first talked to them. We're working towards our financial goals. We'll be there probably within 6 months. And my stress level has gone down. I'll be going on vacation next week, not worrying a bit about what's happening with my 2 practices because I know the systems that we put in place is going to make them run as if I was there. So I don't know what else to say, but thank you guys. I look forward to my weekly coaching calls, and it's always something that I get out of those that I can plug in or talk to an employee. And it's just the 2%. You know, they talk about 2% all the time. You got to improve by 2%. You can't do it all at once. But that 2% over the last 16 to 18 months has made a huge difference for my life, my family, our practices, and again, just the stress level that we were at compared to now has been life-changing. So thanks, guys. Really appreciate all you do and look forward to the next 16 to 18 months and beyond. Thanks.
Hey, I just wanted to take a minute to talk about Thrive 15 and what they've done for me. My experience with them started with a weekend seminar. I was just kind of feeling stuck and just needed something to light my creative juices. And a friend of mine recommended I go check them out, and I did. And certainly nothing short of amazing that weekend seminar as far as what it did for me. But based on that, I wanted to learn more about what they could do to help me. And there's no doubt, without their help, I don't know if I would have got where I want to go, and even to the point where I am now. If you are someone who's looking to start a business or expand your current business, I highly recommend you give these guys a look, as they will at least give you an idea of what it's going to take to get you from where you are now to where you want to go in the future. I'm a guy with big vision, and I just didn't quite know how to get from point A to point B, and they're certainly helping me get to that point down the road. If you look at this board behind you, this is all stuff that they've made me think about, if you will. So yeah, give them a look. I think it'll be well worth your time.
Well, the first time that I ever met you, Clay, was at that first conference in Tulsa, and that was an incredible conference. And I was so impressed with just the whole thing, just the professionalism, you as a person, your business, your work ethic, and really just who you are. And I was very impressed with all of that. And I thought, gosh, this might be someone that I would really consider working with. Like maybe he could really help me. And that's really what got me interested, because I was so impressed with just the professionalism of all of it. And I learned a lot. I come about once a year to a business conference, and I'd like to come more, but every year I try to come with my marketing girl with me. And we always learn something. And I think next year I'm going to bring my husband because he really needs to come too.
Okay, Thrive Nation, on today's show, I wanted to share with you a story about a good person who's growing a good business by treating their customers the way they want to be treated. She's a longtime client. We're honored to serve her and help her grow her business. And I want you to hear a great success story. So that being said, Dr. Stephanie, welcome on to the Thrivetime Show. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thank you so much, Clay.
Well, first off, I'm going to pull up your website. So tell all the listeners, what's the name of your website so we can verify that you are, in fact, a real orthodontist?
Okay, my website is smileshollywood.com.
Okay, smileshollywood.com.
Smileshollywood.com, yes.
I'm going to pull this up real quick here. And as I pull this up, I'm going to ask you a little bit about your background, because you're doing really well. You're based in McKinney, Texas. When did you have that vision to become an orthodontist? Like, what age were you where you thought, you know what, I want to become an orthodontist?
Well, that had to have been when I was visiting my own orthodontist. Dr. Jim Boley, who's retired now, but was an awesome, great orthodontist and one of the greats, really. But what's funny is that I actually wanted to be a medical doctor first. And I used to go into his office and he'd say, Stephanie, you don't want to be a medical doctor. You want to be an orthodontist. And I said, no, I don't, Dr. Boley. Why are you saying that? And he started telling me all of the great things about dentistry and why it's so great, because you don't have to deal with people dying on you. You don't have to deal with sick people. You get to make people look amazing and beautiful by straightening their teeth, and you leave with happy patients. And he talked me into it, and I thought, that sounds like a great job. So that's really how I became an orthodontist.
And you're in McKinney, Texas, right? So how long have you been an orthodontist in McKinney, Texas?
So I've been an orthodontist for 26 years, practicing in McKinney.
Years. And when you went to medical school, what percentage of the time in medical school or dental school, did they spend teaching you how to market and or grow your own practice?
Absolutely zero marketing skills.
Okay. And so one of the great things that I love about working with you is, we get to help you grow your business, but you get to be more of who you are. I mean, you get to help more patients and help more people create great smiles, and then we get to do some of the nitty gritty stuff that maybe isn't your highest and best use. And so I wanted to focus on some of the things we've been able to accomplish together over these few years here. First off, from a branding perspective, I really do feel like your website is first class. And from when I talk to Andrew, you're the coach who works with you, I'm always hearing that more and more patients are coming in from Google. Could you talk about that? How much of an impact does it have having maybe a rebranded or updated website and Google leads coming in?
It has had a huge difference, absolutely huge difference in our patient load coming in. And, before I really wasn't tracking really well. And that's one of the things I learned from Thrivetime Business was how to track patients coming in, how to really, how to see where they're coming from. And at the time, I really didn't know much about Google. And, being an orthodontist for 26 years, I didn't really know a lot I kind of went through a time where I went through shock. It was really what I call culture shock, because the old ways of marketing were not working anymore. And because I really didn't know about online marketing, I was still doing, phone book ads and magazine ads and all of these things. And so Thrivetime has really helped. I started out with 97 reviews. Now we have almost 600 reviews. And, it takes a long time to get those reviews, and you have to really work diligently. And, Andrew was amazing. My coach, he's fantastic. Really had to prod me sometimes because, sometimes I was like an old mule and just stuck my feet in and said, no, I don't want to do that. And he said, trust me, it works. And I just kept going and he kept pushing. And I tell you what, it's really working. We're getting a lot of patients from Google and it's fantastic.
Now, as far as gathering patients from the Google search results, there's a couple of things that have to happen. I mean, one, you've got to have the most content. There's 4 variables. One, you have to have the most original HTML content or text. Second, you have to have the most objective reviews from real customers. Third, your website has to be in constant mobile compliance, where we're updating the website to meet the current updated guidelines of the ever-evolving internet. And then we've got to make sure your website is canonically compliant, where it basically follows all Google's rules. How much has that helped your peace of mind, knowing that you have a team that's helping you update your website every month and that you don't have to do that?
It is a huge relief, an absolute huge relief, because I know that these things are being done. The SEO is being done properly. The backwriting under the website is being done properly and increasing, and we're relevant every single day. We're relevant because I know these things are happening. And before, I actually was trying to do some of these things on my own. And, I'm not the best writer. And then I realized, why am I doing this myself? Because honestly, I don't have the time. And so it's really a great relief to know that these things are being done and that they're working. And I saw when I first started with Thrivetime, I was probably 11 or 12. I was working with an SEO company at the time, and I was probably coming up 11 or 12, which is really the second page when somebody brings you up on the computer. But now I'm at 2, I'm at 3, I'm at 4, depending on the keywords. So yeah. I couldn't be more happy.
And, again, if we do a search for orthodontist in McKinney, Texas, we can find you right there in the top 3. Also, after you move past the 3-pack or the top 3 there, we can also find your site in the search results. And again, it's not a result of luck. It's not a result of some sort of woo-woo plan. It's specific actionable processes. The next thing I want to talk about is just overall lead tracking and Dream 100 marketing. I think a lot of times people...
Okay.
Not you, but other people, entrepreneurs, none of our listeners, we might market based on feel. So if we feel like we're not getting enough leads, we might feel the need to go market. And if we feel like we're overwhelmed with leads, we might feel the need to not market. But one of the things that we try to teach to our wonderful clients like yourself is the importance of implementing a consistent and implementable plan, a consistent and practical plan. Could you talk about the importance of tracking your leads and then also just consistently doing those marketing systems like the Dream 100 that do produce fruit?
So the Dream 100 has really been a great addition. We were doing something similar to that, but really not with the concerted effort and doing it on a regular basis. We were kind of doing it a little more haphazardly. And I really have noticed a difference, because when you are visiting dentist's office and you're developing a relationship with them and they are seeing you on a regular basis every week or every 2 weeks, the staff starts to remember you. And so, you never know, a patient may come in tomorrow and you just drop by their office with a goodie today, and then they are going to think of you whenever it's time to refer for an orthodontist. And that's really made a big change in our practice too. And we track every single one of those. So we know how many Dr. X sent over, and we know how many Dr. Y sent over. So we know our top referrers, and we know the ones that we need to kind of get to know better and help them send to us too.
There's somebody watching this right now who's a doctor, a dentist, a lawyer, and they're going, I don't know if the Dream 100 works. What do you say to that person who's sitting down with you right now and they go, I just don't know if that works?
I say it definitely works. And you definitely do have to get out and meet the dentist yourself at least one time. Even if you just, some of the dentists I couldn't actually just go meet. To have lunch. They didn't have lunches. So I just actually went by the office myself. I took a little goodie with me, a muffin or something, and I'd go by maybe right before lunch and just introduce myself. And then when my gal would come by every week or every other week to deliver things to their office, they at least knew who I was. I had introduced myself, and we found that we started getting patients that way. So it definitely helps.
Now, next thing I want to talk about is hiring. And I don't know if you've ever felt like this. I'm sure you haven't. It's probably just me. But whenever you have a garden that you plant, I'll pull up a picture of a garden so we can all picture it in our minds. Whenever you plant a garden, there's probably some initial excitement. You go, you know what? I'm going to plant these tomatoes. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get after it. This is my year. I'm going to get the garden going. I'm excited. I'm going organic. Let's go. Well, what happens is over time, people stop pulling the weeds. They stop tending to the garden. And over time, the garden becomes like an overgrown monster garden. The garden starts to become something that looks like a mistake, something that looks like a uh-oh, something where your neighbors say, are you going to mow that thing? And it gets bad. And the same thing is true with employees. If you have a team of people that work for you on your payroll and you're a business owner, it turns out that the average American today, for whatever reason, and I'm going to pull up some stats here so people don't think I'm crazy. The U.S. Chamber reports that 75% of employees steal from the workplace. What? That's the U.S. Chamber reporting that 75% of employees steal from the workplace. And you might say, really? Yeah. And 85% of employees lie on resumes, meaning that they just make up some statistic on their, and they throw it on their resumes. And 85% of employees are lying on their resumes. I'm pulling this up here, folks. But there's a certain group of employees that they just lie on the resumes, called 85% of job applicants lie on the resumes. And 75% of employees steal from the workplace. So in your business, you have a great staff and you want to keep it that way. So you can't hire the thieves. You can't hire people that lie on their resumes. So that 85% of the population that lies on the resumes, they can't work for you. And that 75% of the population that steals from the workplace, they can't work for you either because you want to wow your customers. Can you talk about embracing the processes that we teach of the ongoing hiring processes and just always recruiting new people?
Absolutely. So we have taken on really the task of making sure that we have every single day and at any one time, there is going to be an ad out there for any position in our office. And, occasionally we'll have somebody come in and we'll have them, just do a little half a day or something. And what's really interesting is that even my employees, even when I'm not needing someone, my employees will be like, why are we having somebody come in, do a working interview? And everybody gets really nervous, but it actually also helps them get on their best behavior again. So, but it's like, if you always have someone waiting in the wings, then should you have someone that drops off, maybe their husband gets transferred and they're a wonderful employee, but it's just, now they have to move and now you've got someone that you can hire. Or if you have someone that's like what happened in my office where, it was a inventory day and doctors weren't there and she decided to go work out and hang out with her boyfriend for 5 hours and then forgot to clock out, so that's called stealing.
Yeah. And recently, and these are just real examples I'm sharing with people. I've had some of my really, really nice employees. Two of them decided to have a baby and start a family. And so I'm not going to hold an employee hostage. I'm not mad that they decided to move on, but you get to a place where if you're not careful, folks, you're going to find yourself in a kind of a defensive posture where you're not going to be able to cover the appointments, the obligations, the customers that are reaching out to you. So if you're out there today, hiring has got to be a process and not an event. So again, just recapping: the branding, the marketing, the search engine optimization, the hiring, the tracking. I want to talk about retargeting ads. Retargeting ads, whenever somebody goes to your website, we've got to have ads that follow people around the internet. So that way people constantly see Smiles Hollywood, Smiles Hollywood, Smiles Hollywood. Yes. And that creates top of mind awareness. Can you talk about how important it is for you to know that you have a team of people thinking about those kind of things? So again, you don't have to.
Absolutely. And I think just being a Thrivetime customer really makes you feel like you're taken care of in so many different areas, because I didn't even know what those ads were when I first became a client. I didn't even know. I remember thinking, I wonder how you get to have an ad when you're going to your bank account and then all of a sudden this thing pops up, for some brand of sunglasses that you were just looking at. I thought, how do you get those ads? How do you even find out about them? And so these are the ads that you guys fixed us up with, and they're fantastic. And I do know that they do bring in patients.
Now, coaching is an ongoing process. Every week, Andrew meets with you. Every week, I know this might sound shocking for folks out there, but every single morning, our coaches have to meet with me at 6 a.m. And I ask them every morning, I say, how's your client doing? And I go over all 160 clients. It's a real thing. I go over 40 clients every single day. I go over the checklist of all 40 clients every day, and we do that you do every single morning. So every week we review the files of all 160 clients to make sure you guys are thriving, you're growing, you're not backsliding, everyone's doing well. Could you talk about the importance of having somebody who A, helps you track, but also kind of pushes you to be your best?
Well, that has been a lifesaver because honestly, well, I kind of learned it on myself because Andrew was good about pushing me, and he would say, okay, well, did you meet with your staff about this or that? And I said, oh, yeah, I didn't quite do that. And so he was really good about reminding me that I needed to meet with my staff once a week or once a day, whatever it was, depending on the item. But I found, like, for instance, with my front desk girl, she was fantastic, but she was supposed to be following up on leads. She was supposed to have a lead list. And so every week I would call her and say, hey, how's that lead list? And I would actually have Andrew on the phone with me, and we would talk, and she kind of would say, oh yeah, they're good. And, and then finally, I think she got it. She realized I need a list. And so I think she realized Dr. Kreis is going to ask me every week, and I better get organized here. And so she actually came up with her own lead list in her own little system, which was fantastic, by the way, and has helped us tremendously at the front desk. And anytime we go over the lead list, because I have about 3 employees that have lead lists, different kinds of lead lists, and she is fantastic. I never have to worry about her lead list. The other 2, I have to check theirs, and that's the thing is I think you start to really hold your employees accountable, and Andrew helps hold me accountable and make sure that I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, because let's face it, life gets busy, and I mean, I'm a mom and I'm a wife and I have all kinds of other things going on too. And so I want to have a thriving business, but you have to put the work into your business. And it's nice to have someone there prodding me along when I get lazy.
Now, you're one of these wonderful folks where, most of our clients, they actually come to the workshops. They also do coaching. And so you're somebody who's been to the conferences. You do the weekly coaching. You've seen the whole experience. I guess, some people describe our coaching system as life-changing, or they focus on the numbers. How would you describe how the one-on-one coaching in conjunction with the conference has impacted maybe you and or your business?
Well, the first time that I ever met you, Clay, was at that first conference in Tulsa. And that was an incredible conference. And I was so impressed with just the whole thing, just the professionalism, you as a person, your business, your work ethic, and really just who you are. And I was very impressed with all of that. And I thought, gosh, this might be someone that I would really consider working with. Like maybe he could really help me. And that's really what got me interested, because I was so impressed with just the professionalism of all of it. And I learned a lot. I come about once a year to a business conference, and I'd like to come more, but every year I try to come with my marketing girl with me. And we always learn something. And I think next year I'm going to bring my husband because he really needs to come too. And he's been going along with this with me, and he's thinking, wow, this is really working for you. Maybe I need to come. So we've loved it.
So if somebody's watching right now, they're on the website, they go to thrivetimeshow.com, they're thinking about scheduling a free consultation, or they're thinking about coming to a workshop. What do you say to somebody out there that's on the fence, thinking about coming to a conference and or scheduling a free 13-point assessment?
Well, I say absolutely do it. Absolutely do it. And I will say that it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight, but if you stay the course, you're going to see results, because I'm absolutely convinced.
Dr. Kreis, thank you for allowing us to take up some of your valuable time today. I really do appreciate you, and I can't wait to see you in person here soon.
All right. Thanks so much, Clay.
Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people talk about having success. A lot of people want to have success, but there is a proven path to achieve success. And about 4 years ago, I had the opportunity to connect with somebody by the name of Dr. Mark Sherwood. My good friend Aaron Antis swore by the results of Dr. Sherwood. My good friend Pastor Craig Hagan swore by the results of Dr. Sherwood.
And we had a chance to team up, and it's been an honor to team up with his practice and to help him grow his medical practice. And if you're out there today and you want to grow your business, on today's show, we're going to talk about growing your business and what happens when you diligently implement a proven plan. And here to talk about it is Dr. Sherwood. Welcome onto the Thrivetime Show. How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing well, Clay. Thanks for having me. And it has been an honor, hasn't it? What a ride and what a journey it's been.
Now, without getting into the specific financial numbers, you and I were talking offline, and I believe since you and I first talked on the phone to today, I believe you're about 7 times larger. Is that an accurate number? Am I getting that number wrong in some capacity?
No, it's at least 7, closer to 8. Yeah.
And that's so many people talk about growing their business by 2% or 5% or 12%. I want to give people some real facts here. We're going to go here to Inc. I'm going to do a search right now on Google. I want everyone to do it with me. Assume I'm making this up. Inc. magazine reports that 96% of businesses fail. That's according to Inc. magazine. That's not clayclark.com. 96%. Now, if you go to usdebtclock.com, which is, by the way, a great way to get depressed. If you go to usdebtclock.org, you'll see that in America today, we only have 9.3 million self-employed people and a country of 336 million. So if even 10% of our country was self-employed, that'd be 36 million self-employed people. But we only have 9 million self-employed people. So we're talking about, it's like less than 3% of our population is even self-employed to begin with. And so if less than 3% of our population is self-employed, and 96% of businesses fail, by default, folks, you've got, it's a very, very small percentage chance of being successful by default. And so what I want to focus on is the implementing a proven path and a proven system. So step number 1, since you and I have connected, I didn't teach this to you, but you do it. You diligently implement a plan. Can you talk about that? Because every week, you and we connect every week, in this case, there's a plan that you do, and I won't get into all the details, but you do it every single week. You do it in the gym. You do it in your business. Talk about implementing a proven routine every day.
Well, I think the end of the story of a routine is it produces predictability. And so I look at it like this, good habits done consistently over time provides reliability, which gives you consistency, which gives you faithfulness, which gives you trust. Now, trust is a big deal. Does that trust mean you trust yourself? I hope so. Does it trust mean that your customers or clientele trust you? They do, because it's predictable. The thing that people can't stand, Clay, is unpredictability or chaos or just anxiety that's driven in businesses. So we facilitate that culture from the top down, the bottom up. And as you mentioned, every day, I get up and I'm very routine, and so are you. We started working together. I remember you telling me you get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, blah 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 blah, and I do. I probably wake up about an hour after you. Boom boom boom. But it's very predictable. People know where we are, what we're going to do, what we're about, and it creates an expectation. And I think that, among other things, has been a key element to experiencing, the 800% growth we've had, which is. To me, it wasn't that hard because it's a process that works.
Now, next question I want to ask you is focus on what you need to do, but then say no to the things you don't need to do. Again, you have to say no to grow. So yes, you're diligent and you're consistent, but you're also saying no to grow. And now there are billboards, there are magazines, there are yellow pages. Yes, there are still a few yellow pages. There are billboards, there's magazines. There's local cable TV. There's so many different ways that you could be marketing your business, but you've had to say no to grow. You've had to focus on, and you and your wife, you guys do books, you do documentaries, you do podcast interviews. You have a proven path, a proven trajectory that you're on, but you do have to say no to grow. And sometimes you have to say no to good things in order to say yes to great things. Can you talk about the importance of saying no to grow?
Yeah, specifically in our job, what we do, which is a kind of a wellness based optimization of health practice, right? So the bottom line is I run everything through that filter, and our filter is, does it bring healing to the person? Does it bring betterment to the person? And there's all kinds of procedures, gizmos, gadgets, and whatnots out here that we could get involved in. But I always look at it from this standpoint. It's got to run through that filter and it's got to pass the test. Is it going to take us more time? Is it going to take us more labor? What's the expense of it going to be originally? And what's it going to take for us to recoup the expense, if any? And so I run it through that filter every single time. And if it doesn't hash out, it may be a good thing, but it's not a good thing for us. And people don't understand that. But sometimes the greatest answer is no, because it's a no that protects you from getting hurt. And you mentioned all that advertising mess out there. Clay, we've been approached by, as you know, many, many people to advertise in all kinds of markets. But if you don't know what kind of person that you're after, what is your target demographic, then you can't just throw spitballs out there at the different sources, because you will waste your time and money. And again, in that area, advertising, know to grow is critical.
Now, the next area I want to focus on is having a linear workflow or a mapped out workflow or a written down process. So many business owners don't have a written down process. So let me just give people an example. I'm going to go up to my website, and then I'll go to your website so people can see this. Very predictable. If people go to thrivetimeshow.com, which, by the way, folks, we have about 5 to 10 people a day that often reach out looking for help growing their company. Now, I only take on 160 clients. That's not a spiritual number. That's not a reason. I don't do that for any spiritual reason. It's just I have found that with my team, I like to not have more than 160 clients so that I can meet all my clients. And those clients, they schedule a free consultation. And in order to do that, I have a kind of a call screener that sets up an appointment. They hop on the phone. They find out if they're a good fit for a free consultation. Then my team books the free consultation for me. And because our average client is with us for 6 years or longer, if you do the math, we have an opening for a new client about every month or so. So if you look at TWA Photos, this is one of my longtime clients based in Chicago, him, and we're going to hear his success story on part 2 of today's show. He reached out. He filled out the form. A member of my team called Tim to see if he was a good fit. I then coached Tim on the first call, found out he's a good fit, did my assessment, found out he's a good fit, coached him through what we're going to do, laid out the proven plan. True story, and you're going to hear it on part 2 of today's show. Tim went on to build a very, very successful company, and he sold his business. Well, when he sold his business for a big-time exit, guess what that did? That created an opening for another client. And so the process we have over and over and over is you go to thrivetimeshow.com, you can schedule a free consultation. My call screener vets that person to see if they're a good fit. If they are a good fit, they do an onboarding with myself. Also, we have conference tickets. We do a conference every 2 months. And I've been doing this since 2005. So since 2005, I've been essentially doing the same process over and over and over. That's why when you click on testimonials, you will literally see thousands of client success stories, just thousands, not 100, not 50, but thousands. So I want to see if you can walk us through, what does the workflow look like when people go to Sherwood.tv? What does that workflow look like?
It's fascinating. And again, you and I just kind of hit it off because we think the same way. So we have, we have an opportunity. People visit our website and we get, hundreds of visitors every day, and people can fill out a little questionnaire. It's like a health assessment questionnaire. It's free. And they get put through a series of, funnel emails to sort of qualify what they want to do. And it sort of kind of vets them at the outset. But if they want to work with us, just like yourself, we have a free webinar that they can go to. At that point, after attending the webinar, Clay, they then have the opportunity at that point to schedule a one-on-one assessment intake appointment with my wife and myself. At that appointment, we determine whether or not they're a good fit. If they're a good fit, we develop a plan for those and execute the same plan with the same formula. It's more personalized for their lives, much like you personalize that plan with the same general processes for that business. We personalize that plan of the same general processes for their life.
Now, when people work with me, with my business, and I'm not a medical business, I have a proven process and a proven system. And so when people go and they go to thrivetimeshow.com and they look at the different success stories. We have companies like oxyfresh.com. We've helped them to grow now to 570 locations, 570. And I could go on just listing examples all day. We take companies like Shaw Homes, help them grow from $15 million to $150 million of revenue. And we just have so many success stories. It truly is epic. And that's why the parent company is called Make Your Life Epic. That is what we do, make your life epic. Dr. Sherwood, I would say what he does is very analogous to what we do for business, he does for your body. Yeah. And so, I believe what he does, Dr. Sherwood, Sherwood.tv, what he does for your body is very analogous to what we do for business. We guide people down a proven path, and we actually tell people before they decide to become a client what the path is. We tell people, this is what we're going to do to get you from where you are to where you want to be. Now, I know a lot of people, I would say specifically 3 people that I see on a weekly basis who have lost over 40 pounds since going to Sherwood.tv. So 3 people that I see on a weekly basis have lost over 40 pounds as a result of going to Sherwood.tv, learning about the protocols you offer, and then following those. You tell people in advance what the protocol is going to be. That's very different from a lot of other medical programs that kind of hide the program or the protocol from the potential customer, from the potential patient. They hide it and they say, once you sign up, then we'll teach you the protocol. Why are you so transparent with teaching people what your protocol is going to be before they become a patient?
I think it produces trustworthiness, Clay, because a lot of times with what we do, transparency is key, because my wife and I do it too. And I'm not knocking anybody else. I just know that what you just said is very true. It is analogous to you making someone's company greater. I want to see their lives get greater. I want to optimize their health, give them the biological aging process of speed that's optimal so they're not aging too fast. And so we live it out, we do it. And then it's no secret, man, there are some processes that work. And I tell them, if you're willing to do this, this will work. And they see us doing it every day. We don't hide our lives and we don't shield them. We don't do something, tell them to do something we're not doing ourselves. So I think it's exactly as you said. And to your point, we deal with a lot of entrepreneurs that have worked with you and do work with you. So the interesting overlap is cool. I can think of a couple of people that we've worked with that also are your clients in their business, and I've watched their businesses explode as their personal lives explode. So the synergy there is just astounding to me as I think about that.
Now, I want to walk people through this again here, folks. Again, we're trying to walk you through that. How is it that a doctor, a medical provider, a health facility is able to grow their revenue by 8 times within a period of just a few years? How is that possible when 96% of businesses are failing? One is you have to have a proven plan. 2, you have to implement that plan each and every week. And 3, you have to measure what you treasure. You just have to measure what you treasure. You have to track or it's going to slack. And that's true with health, and it's true with wealth. You have to track or it's going to slack. And so any area of our lives, if you're listening right now, you talk about your faith, your family, your finance, your fitness, your friendship, your fun, any area where we are not achieving at our optimal performance, it's probably because we're not measuring what we're treasuring. It's probably we're not focusing on it. And again, I'm not attacking anybody out there. There's somebody out there listening right now. You are in phenomenal physical shape, and financially, you're not in shape. There's somebody else out there listening. You're in great financial shape. You're in great physical shape, but your family's not in great shape. Somebody else out there, you say you got your family, you got your faith, you got your fitness, you got your friendship. But you're really, really in a bad spot in another area. So whatever we measure is what we treasure. Talk about that for a second, because you have a way of helping your patients and your clients to measure what they treasure and to track. And I see people all the time coming into my office of being excited. They've lost 4 pounds. They lost 6 pounds. They lost 9 pounds. They lost 20. They lost 21 pounds. They lost 27 pounds. They lost 30. They lost 40. And you see people gaining confidence every week as they begin to take this massive goal they have and they start to see success day after day. Talk about measuring what you treasure.
Yeah, one thing I forgot to add too in the process, we have quarterly events. I mean, and I didn't, we have those things too, which are kind of cool. That's kind of a culmination of stuff that people can celebrate. But when we talk about measurables, we talk about this all the time. physical, emotional, intellectual, spiritual, financial, the 5 parts of a human experience, and so, and I talk to them. I don't get into heavy dealings with their debt though, but I talk to them about eliminating debt and building equity. But I use that same terminology within health. I don't want wellness debt. I want wellness equity. So in other words, if you can't measure it, don't do it. I never do a test unless I know what I'm asking, what questions I'm trying to get answered, and why I'm measuring it. I don't do that. You mentioned weight loss. We have a unique way to measure that, not just about what the scale says, but I'm measuring their body composition, Clay. I'm measuring their percent body fat. I want to know how much muscle they've maintained or grown and how much fat they've been able to lose. I want to know their visceral fat level. I want to know their blood pressure. I want to know all their scores that I can find. We've even got tests that can score their biological aging processes and speeds and actualities. It quantifies that into measurable components. And so we're actually developing right now, and I haven't got it rolled out yet, a quotient. We're going to call it the FMI age, and it's going to be a little massive thing that we're going to put together. Because, I think people are aging in a way that is probably too fast, and I think we can probably age better. But to your point, I concur 1,000%. If you can't measure it and it's not quantifiable, don't do it, because then it becomes a distraction.
Now, I want to tap into your wisdom on this, let you kind of show off what you do a little bit here. One of my wonderful clients is called Kolaw Fitness, and Charles Kolaw. He started out doing personal training. And on part 2 of today's show, folks, you're going to hear his success story too. So you're going to hear the success story of TWA Photos. You're going to hear the success story of Kolaw Fitness. He started out doing personal training, and then he decided, I want to open up a gym. And then he said, I want to open up a second gym. And that's where we met him, is as he was scaling the business. And so what he does when people want to lose weight, I'll tell you his secret. He tells them, here's the deal. I need you to not eat wheat, no sweets, and no alcohol. And people are like, what? He's like, no wheat, no sweets, no alcohol. We'll see you 3 days a week working out. And he starts that process. He starts small, no wheat, no sweets, no alcohol, 3 days a week working out. And then over time, they start to add maybe more detail to it, more supplementation, more detail, maybe more vigorousness to it. But they start off with no wheat, no sweets, no alcohol, 3 days a week working out. And then they start to build on that foundation. I want to get your just for anybody out there that's thinking about becoming a Sherwood.tv patient or client, and they're maybe concerned about what's going to be required of them. What sort of life changes need to be made in the lives of people that, are thinking about implementing the Sherwood path? And I know there's a lot of details, a lot of research that you do into each and every patient, but what are a couple practical steps that every single one of your patients has to implement right away?
Well, I appreciate, I know Charles and his wife, great people, by the way, and I concur with what he said. That's a great start for anybody right there. So at least take that. I think for us, our advice would be, simply put, if it's real food, eat it, don't diet. If it's in the original package, it's fine. If you can imagine it being in that package in the Garden of Eden, it's fine. So I tell people typically to stay away. It's going to sound crazy. Anything the government subsidizes, don't do it. That's kind of what I tell them with food. And then people can go, oh, yeah, I get that, because the government subsidizes wheat, corn, soy, dairy, and that kind of mess, So I tell them stay away from that. Then I tell them that every day I want you to try to get, somewhere between about 7 hours, give or take, is probably, if you can get that much. And then I tell them every day that you don't move is a day you're dead. So I want them to move more, sit less. The days you don't move are the day that you are going to be into rigor mortis. So I make sure I tell them that. And then I want them to have the last little bit, speak life over self, man. Don't speak death over self. Because many times people can walk themselves into a process of oblivion by talking themselves into death every day, saying they can't do it.
Now, for anybody out there that hasn't worked with us, I mean, you and I have had the opportunity to work together faithfully each and every week now for years. What would you say the impact has been on your business? Working with us, you and I working together. For anybody out there who's maybe thinking about working with us or becoming a client of ours.
Well, without question, people need guidance today, Clay. It's like a ship without a rudder. You represent the rudder. You can teach them how to drive, but you also shift that boat in the right direction. And I would recommend people do connect with you, because you will do a good job. It will be consistent. It will be predictable. And if people just copy these habits, no matter what business you're in, you can adapt them to the business. The habits work, and you will see a good return on that investment, and it will exponentially grow. And then the last thing I'll say with that, when you connect with Clay Clark, you need to set your bar high. He will not let you set that bar low, because he's going to stretch you, he's going to push you, and he's going to get I'll just say it like this: he will pull the potential out of you and get you believing again in a good way. So highly recommend it.
It's working with you has been an honor. It's a true win-win. For anybody out there that's looking for health optimization, check it out at Sherwood.tv. And again, what you do is so analogous for health to what we do for wealth. And so for anybody out there, if you're looking to optimize your health, check out Sherwood.tv. Dr. Sherwood, thank you so much. And again, for anybody out there that doesn't know the story here, which should be everybody, you and I were just talking offline the other day, and you were saying, hey, Clay, I just want you to know, since you and I first connected, we're up, 8 times. And I just thought, well, man, there's so much discouragement in the world we live in. We need to document this and get this on camera. So thank you for keeping us updated, sir. And I can't wait to have you on the show next week.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me, as always.
Take care. Bye-bye.
I'm Dr. Brett Kasbaum, and I was looking to learn more about business, scaling, selling, closing, potentially franchising, growing that business, and actually working on it and not as much in it. Oh, goodness. It's going to take me a little bit of time to process everything I brought in over the last 2 days, but there's definitely some things I need to go back and implement immediately. Some with key players, some of our processes, systems, some scripting. We've been using scripting. I think we can improve on it, and that's definitely one of the first things we'll do, because we're seeing the patients coming in, on a real regular basis, and I think we can capture more of those patients with even a small tweak of some of our scripts. Coming to the workshop today has definitely been helpful in adding to and giving the big picture, the 10,000-foot view. So I would recommend everyone who's been working with one of the coaches that's part of Thrive 15 to definitely attend one of the workshops. You network with other business owners. You learn from other people's questions. If you're just considering being a part of one of these coaching teams, this is a great place to start. You'll get that 10,000-foot view, and then you can work individually with a team of coaches to really hone it in and give you those action steps to move forward. So definitely, if you're on the fence, come be a part of it. Welcome to Tulsa on behalf of me.
You have questions? America's #1 business coach has answers. It's your Broda from Minnesota. Here's another edition of Ask Clay Anything on the Thrivetime Business Coach Radio Show.
Welcome back to another special edition of Ask Me Anything here on the Thrivetime Show on your radio and podcast download. On today's show, we're answering the question that has been emailed a lot lately. People say, hey, I have heard from a friend of mine that you helped their company grow. I've seen a testimonial online about how you've helped a company grow. I've heard on social media how you've helped a company grow. I know your program is month to month. I know there's no contract. I get it, but I would like to know, what actually do you do for your clients? What do you guys actually do? How do you actually help them have wins or successes? Or what kind of things do you do? What kind of strategic help? What kind of accountability? What kind of deliverables? What kind of back-end support? What do you do to help your clients? And so I thought what we would do is invite one of my friends and one of our clients, Dr. Breck, onto the show. It's DRBRECK.com if you want to look him up here. DRBRECK.com, Dr. Breck. And Dr. Breck Kasbaum is a chiropractor who has had major success in the past year. And the guy has been in business for over 15 years, but he's been able to double his business in just the past 12 months. So how did he do it? What did we do to help him? All of these things will be answered on today's show as I interview Dr. Breck about his experience with actual one-on-one business coaching and how we've been able to help him double the size of his business in just the past 12 months. Now, Dr. Breck, talk to me about what kind of changes have you made and how has it impacted your overall profitability or growth?
Well, I'm happy to report that, December of 2018, we had our highest grossing month. So I'm super excited about that.
Ever?
Ever.
Whoa, that deserves, you know what? That deserves
Wins of the Week.
That's a win of the week. Dr. Breck celebrating a sales record here. A new year, a new you. How is it possible? He's a diligent doer. So what kind of practical changes have you made?
Oh, man. Well, we had to look at our price structure. So, we have to be honest with the value and what it costs to deliver services. And we can't continue to give away services, for free or losing money on them. And so that was one of the big steps. We also had to get rid of toxic employees or even contractors. In our case, the massage therapists are self-employed contractors. But
little warning about therapists, by the way. The only difference between the rapist and a therapist is a space.
Yeah.
Just think about it. Okay, back to you.
That reminds me of Sean Connery on
right.
Saturday Night Live.
Right. Now, okay, so other changes you've made this year. What other changes you made? You fixed the pricing.
I was non-existent on our SEO. I mean,
search
I
engine.
literally is non-existent.
Not findable.
I mean, you may have found me if you put my name in exactly spelled correctly. You might have found me on like 20 pages back.
Got it. But now you got all the content, all the tags, all the Google reviews.
Yeah, that all started from scratch, and we now have like 257 reviews, and we're climbing the Google search engine each day. So.
I was doing a search for you. Was it yesterday? And I think you were over 250. Let me pull it up real quick. 257. You're right. 257 Google reviews. And so, are you having people that are finding you online now?
Yes. And that's a nice new thing. People come in and are like, "Hey, I saw your reviews."
Are you up? Are you up 10% more than last year? 20%? What percentage are you up now?
We're up. So it fluctuates a little bit, but I mean, literally from like a year and a half ago to now, we're up double.
Double.
Yeah.
Now, have you changed or improved your sales scripting or your sales processes at all?
We have. Yeah. We very intensely went over a lot of scripting and things. But then also we do have a no-brainer offer.
Yeah.
And so the conversion aspect of that to go from, hey, this is all free to, I do expect you to pay me at some point. Getting a better conversion script for me to work from has also been very helpful.
And then you, from an HR perspective, hiring people, I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but most clients we worked with, most doctors we work with before, business owners, before they come into our program, have a hard time finding good people. And then after they're in the program, that's usually not a problem anymore.
Right.
Is that the case with you? Are you doing good on finding people, or how have you changed your recruitment process?
Yeah, so just before starting working with Tim, we had some change up and some people left on their own accord, and they were about to have that conversation anyway, so it worked out. Nice timing. So we've brought on some great people in the last year, and now we're operating from a totally different way of thinking about that, with not being held captive and a hostage in my own office.
And how do you feel now? I mean, do you and your wife, does it feel better? Do you have more pride about the business now that you're more profitable? Do
Absolutely.
You feel? I mean, on a daily
I see
basis,
the difference in her eyes too.
Really?
Yeah. I've been a doctor for the last 15 years, but to be a successful doctor is kind of a little better.
right.
And so I needed the action, like tangible action steps, like give me a task to do today that I can put my hands to work on doing that. But I mean, I had to borrow money from family members. Thank you, Dad.
Big shout out to your dad.
I owe you. I mean, it was tough on my wife. She's a school teacher, and we were living paycheck to paycheck every month, trying to rob Peter to pay Paul.
Got it.
And not fun at all.
And you're a doctor. You're a chiropractor.
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
Your business does not have to be embarrassing, and you don't have to feel stuck. But you do have to take action if you want to get unstuck. Thomas Edison has said, and I quote it so many times on the show, vision without execution is hallucination. So if you feel stuck, you feel overwhelmed, you don't know what to do, just reach out to us today. Just reach out to us today. Go to thrivetimeshow.com and schedule a 13-point one-on-one assessment with yours truly, and we can see if we can help you. Again, my name's Clay Clark. I'm a business coach. Big shout out to Dr. Breck. And as always, we like to end each and every show with a boom. 3, 2, 1, boom.
My name is Joe Lai, and I'm with Kirkpatrick & Lai Orthodontics. At Kirkpatrick & Lai Orthodontics, we create beautiful smiles by straightening kids' teeth and adults' teeth. The services that Clay and his team provide would be something like how to get more customers into my business and get the message out that I'm the best orthodontist in Tulsa. He does that by social media. We get the word out through videos and pictures, and being just top mind awareness, as he would always say. Also, how to reach out and create that bond with my referring doctors. He helped me kind of get somebody in-house to go out and meet doctors and help me kind of continue building that relationship while I do the work. Website. The website's so majorly important. We get several patients through our website. And what he's doing is there's a certain way that you want your website to look and certain content because you want call to action items in your website, and we didn't have that before. So now we get 7 or 8 new patients just through the website alone. Clay and his team are, I would just say they're over the top. I mean, nothing is too big, nothing's too grand for Clay and his staff and his team. I mean, he says boom, he really means it. I mean, they over deliver, really, to be honest with you. And they come up with ideas that are just top notch. And if you don't like something, great, move on. He'll figure out something that works for your style and your identity. But I would just say the biggest thing for Clay and his team is they over deliver. Clay and his team help kind of create that culture also for your business that, hey, we got to get things done in a timely manner. It holds me accountable to do the certain tasks so that we can create things in a timely manner. So there is a sense of urgency that he creates, and it's a lot of it's just through his enthusiasm. He's always on the go, so it kind of puts you on that same mindset of, hey, let's get this done, let's work hard, but let's also have fun with it. When I went to orthodontic school, we got 0 training on marketing. Actually, when I got out of school 18 years ago, it was kind of taboo to actually do any marketing. The most you could do is put your name in the Yale pages. And so now it's pretty common knowledge and pretty mainstream to go ahead and get your name out there, tell everybody your story, who you are, what you're about. If you don't do that, it's a leg of your business that you're lagging behind. Because you could be the best orthodontist or the best whatever, but if people don't know that, then you won't get the customers coming in. I meet with Clay and his team on every Friday about 11 o'clock, and to be honest with you, at the beginning I wasn't that thrilled with it. Coming in every week just kind of seemed like a lot, but for me, I find the marketing aspect interesting. I enjoy it. I love working with Clay. I think it's the main reason why. I've kind of built a relationship with him. I think it got to a level now where we're pretty good friends. And so to me, it's enjoyable. I really enjoy the creativity and how when you put the energy into it and the work into it, how you get everything kind of comes back and it works. I've worked with Clay and his team for about, I think it's about 3 years, and every year it's just gotten better and things have grown more every year. I've been trying to get my wife and her pediatric dentist office and our partners on board with Clay for a while. I just saw that they were kind of getting stagnant in their practice, and times were kind of getting slow for them, and they needed more referrals. And I knew that Clay could definitely help them out by even just one thing, which would be change your website. And just by doing that, you're going to get patients very easily. But another thing too is that they needed to change their culture and their mindset of how to bring in patients and creating a brand as well for them, and giving them more of an identity so the whole staff could kind of rally around them. For anybody that's coming out of school or just starting new with a business of any sort, be it medical or anything of that nature, I highly recommend Clay helping you create that business model. We're trained to do what we're trained to do, but we're not trained to do the business aspect or the marketing or how to deal with the patient or our staff. So Clay can pretty much do all that. But what I like the most about Clay and his staff is that everything's in-house. I don't have to go to one place to do my website. I don't have to go somewhere to do my videos. I don't have to go another place to shoot photographs, somewhere else to do web content or team coaching or entrepreneurship. Clay pretty much is the total package. He's really a great mentor. So if you're new and starting a business and you want to avoid all the pitfalls, I would definitely hook up with Clay and his team. Someone's not using Clay and his team to help build their business, they're missing out on a lot. There's so many details and so many aspects of creating a business that Clay really makes it simple, makes it fun, and you learn so much in a short amount of time that I think he's the best entrepreneur, business coach, marketer, you name it. The guy's and his team's got it all going on.
Hello, my name is Charles Kolaw with Kolaw Fitness. Today I want to tell you a little bit about Clay Clark and how I know Clay Clark. Clay Clark has been my business coach since 2017. He's helped us grow from 2 locations to now 6 locations. We're planning to do 7 locations in 7 years and then franchise. And Clay has done a great job of helping us navigate anything that has to do with like running the business, building the systems, the checklists, the workflows, the audits, how to navigate lease agreements, how to buy property, how to work with brokers and builders. This guy is just amazing. He's this kind of guy has worked in every single industry. He's written books with like Lee Cockrell, head of Disney, with the 40,000 cast members. He's friends with like Mike Lindell. He does Reawaken America tours where he does these tours all across the country where 10,000 or more people show up to some of these tours. On the day-to-day, he does anywhere from about 160 companies. He's at the top. He has a team of business coaches, videographers, and graphic designers and web developers, and they run 160 companies every single week. So think of this guy with a team of business coaches running 160 companies. So in the weekly, he's running 160 companies. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's doing Reawaken America tours. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's also doing business conferences where 200 people show up, and he teaches people a 13-step proven system that he's done and worked with billionaires, helping them grow their companies. So I've seen guys from startups go from startup to being multimillionaires, teaching people how to get time freedom and financial freedom through the system. Critical thinking, document creation, putting it into organizing everything in their head to building it into a franchisable, scalable business. Like one of his businesses has like 500 franchises. That's just one of the companies or brands that he works with. So amazing guy, Elon Musk kind of like smart guy. He kind of comes off sometimes as socially awkward, but he's so brilliant and he's taught me so much. When I say that, like Clay is like, he doesn't care what people think when you're talking to him. He cares about where you're going in your life and where he can get you to go. And that's what I like most about him. He's like a good coach. A coach isn't just making you feel good all the time. A coach is actually helping you get to the best you. And Clay has been an amazing business coach. Through the course of that, we became friends. I was really most impressed with him is when I was shadowing him one time. We went into a business deal and listened to it. I got to shadow and listen to it. And when we walked out, I knew that he could make millions on the deal. And they were super excited about working with him. And he told me, he's like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to turn it down because he knew it was going to harm the common good of people in the long run. And the guy's integrity just really wowed me. It brought tears to my eyes to see that this guy, his highest desire was to do what's right. And anyways, just an amazing man. So anyways, impacted me a lot. He's helped navigate anytime I've got nervous or worried about how to run the company or, navigating competition and an economy that's like, I remember we got closed down for 3 months. He helped us navigate on how to stay open, how to get back open, how to just survive through all the COVID shutdowns, lockdowns, because our clubs were all closed for 3 months and you have $350,000 of bills you've got to pay, and we have no accounts receivable. He helped us navigate that, and of course we were conservative enough that we could afford to take that on for a period of time. But it was anyways, great man. I'm very impressed with him. So Clay, thank you for everything you're doing, and I encourage you, if you haven't ever worked with Clay, work with Clay. He's going to help magnify you, and there's nobody I have ever met that has the ability to work as hard as he does. He probably sleeps 4, maybe 6 hours a day, and literally the rest of the time he's working, and he can outwork everybody in the room every single day, and he loves it. So anyways, this is Charles Kola with Kola Fitness. Thank you, Clay, and anybody out there that's wanting to work with Clay, it's a great opportunity to ever work with him. So you guys have a blessed one. This is Charles Kola. We'll see you guys.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.